The real black-eyed children, encounters at terrified small towns. Have you ever heard a knock at the door after dark, but when you open it, something just feels wrong? Not because of what they say, but because of their eyes. Pitch black, empty as the night sky. Today, we're flipping through some of the most chilling encounters with mysterious black-eyed children. These are real stories, told by small-town folks, documented in police reports, and whispered in diners long after midnight. So pull up a chair, and let's take a walk through America's creepiest rural legends. Number 10, the knock at the gas station, Abilene, Texas, 1996. It started with a teenage boy sitting in his car at a gas station late one evening. He noticed two kids, maybe 9 or 10, knocking on his window. They wore outdated clothes and asked for a ride home, but the boy said it wasn't their voices that scared him. It was their jet black eyes and the strange, calm way they talked, like they weren't really kids at all. This was one of the earliest reported encounters, and folks in Abilene still say the story makes their skin crawl. Number 9, the quiet visitor of Vermont, 2003. On a snowy night in Vermont, an elderly couple heard soft knocking on their front door. Standing there were two small children, heads down, asking to come inside and wait for their parents. The couple almost let them in until they saw the kids' eyes, deep black like polished coal. The husbands got told him to shut the door. Moments later, the children vanished into the snowy woods, leaving no footprints behind. To this day, locals believe that night was not of this world. Number 8, the minivan encounter in Ohio, 2005. A woman was sitting in her parked minivan, waiting for her husband outside a store in a small Ohio town. Suddenly, two boys appeared, tapping on her window, asking for a ride. She described an overwhelming sense of dread, as if her instincts were screaming at her to not unlock the door. Their black, soulless eyes stared straight through her, and when she refused to open the window, they turned and walked away without another word. Police never found them, but similar reports kept coming in for weeks. Number 7, the camping trip horror, Maine, 2010. A family on a camping trip deep in Maine's woods had an unsettling encounter one night. They heard small, soft voices outside their tent, asking to be let in. When the father peeked out with a flashlight, he saw two children standing motionless, their faces pale and their eyes pure black. The family quickly packed up and left. Rangers later found no footprints or any sign of children in the area. The story has since become campfire legend in those parts. Number 6, the farmhouse incident, Iowa, 2012. In a quiet farming town in Iowa, a man heard a persistent knock on his door one evening. Two children stood there, asking to use the phone. He described a cold, heavy feeling that made his hair stand on end. Their pitch-black eyes seemed to pull at his mind, making him dizzy. He slammed the door shut, and for a moment, the children stood there silently before disappearing. The next morning, his front porch was covered in dead birds. Folks still talk about it in hushed tones. Number 5, the Utah Desert Encounter, 2014. A group of friends driving through a desolate stretch of Utah desert stopped when they saw two children standing by the roadside, miles from any town. When they rolled down the window to ask if they were okay, the children's heads turned in unison, revealing their haunting black eyes. One of them smiled, cold and unnatural, and asked for a ride. The group sped off, but when they looked in the rear-view mirror, the children were gone. This tale is still passed around in local diners. Number 4, the Library Steps Incident, Oregon, 2016. In a sleepy Oregon town, a college student had a late-night encounter on the library steps. Two children, around 10 years old, were standing motionless, staring at him with their jet-black eyes. They asked in monotone voices if he could help them find their mother. The student felt paralyzed, as if their gaze had weight. When he finally looked away and blinked, the children had vanished. Security footage caught nothing, but the student's trembling account made its way into campus folklore. Number 3, the police report from Missouri, 2017. This encounter was so disturbing that it ended up in a small-town police report. A woman called 911 after two children kept knocking on her front door late at night, refusing to leave. Officers arrived, but no children were found, despite neighbors also hearing the knocking. The woman's description of their black eyes and unsettling calmness made even the police uneasy. The report was quietly filed away, but stories of similar visitors in the town started to pop up more frequently after that night. Number 2, the gas station security footage, Montana, 2018. At a lonely gas station off a rural highway, a clerk reported 2 children entering the store after midnight, asking for a ride. The clerk noticed their strange, empty eyes and immediately felt unsafe. When he checked the security footage later, the children didn't appear on camera at all, though the audio picked up the sound of the door chime when they supposedly entered. This footage has never been made public, but those who have seen it say it's the most disturbing thing they've ever witnessed. Number 1, the town-wide sightings in West Virginia, 2019. The small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, already famous for its Mothman legends, had a string of black-eyed children sightings in 2019. Over the course of 2 weeks, dozens of residents reported encounters. Children knocking on doors, standing at windows, and even following people to their cars. Each story described the same eerie black eyes and the same polite, but robotic requests to be let inside. Though the sightings stopped as suddenly as they began, Point Pleasant's folklore now has a new chapter of terror. Stories like these have a way of sticking with you. Maybe it's the simplicity of a knock on the door, or the fear of inviting something in that isn't quite human. Whether you believe in the black-eyed children or not, these tales remind us that some mysteries still wander the quiet roads of small-town America. If you enjoyed this eerie trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, comment your favorite story, and subscribe for more forgotten folklore. Until next time, keep your doors locked after dark.